this computer, and I want to say officially welcome to the 6 Personal Perspectives. Glad that you could be here, and I'm super glad that I have the chance to be with friends and to cover some great material on perspective. So as I mentioned, I uploaded the student manual in the chat section, so you can download that if you want. It's there. And then really what I want to do is I just want to, of course, cover the material, but I also want to be able to have you guys be able to share as well. So make sure that you load up your sound and all that kind of stuff. So some of you I don't even know, okay? And this is fantastic because this is a great opportunity to meet people. But just real briefly, I'm Brian Manaois, and I've been in real estate for about 22 years. And man, last 5 or 6 years I've been with Keller Williams, and during that time I've just learned a ton. And one of the very first classes that I took was this 6 Personal Perspectives, and I said, hey, I really want to learn this class. I want to be able to teach this class. And so I'm glad that you could join us. My only requirement for you is that you participate, you share, you ask questions. Just let us know that you're here, you're tracking. Again, reminding everybody the manual's in the chat notes, so it might not make sense to you. So I want to make sure that you have a pen or pencil, some paper. Make sure that you pull that up so that you can take some good notes, because this is both content and this is engagement. So looking forward to having you. Welcome, you guys. Appreciate you being here. Let's go ahead and get started. But I don't mind me too, because I have notes and whatever. But you guys won't. Some of this stuff I'd have you read aloud, but not everyone. Does anyone right now just raise your hand and say, hey, do you have a manual in front of you? Anybody?
No, I don't see it in the chat.
I don't
Me either.
Seriously?
I was just writing that.
Are you serious? Okay, let me try it one more time. Okay, I'm gonna add the file right now.
It's called a user error, Brian. That's what it's called.
What's that?
It's called user error.
Oh, whatever, guru. Just because you're the smart one, you're the guru. Okay, do you guys see it? I just uploaded it. Did it show up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you guys. Thanks for letting me know, because I would have not known. But I just want to. I want to share something with you, and I'm going to try to bounce between you seeing me sharing your screen. Welcome everybody who's coming. I want to pull up the personal perspectives. Hold on. The PowerPoint here. Just give me 1 second. And this is let's see, opportunity for me to share with you, and let's see if I can actually do this here today. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Can you guys see the 6 Personal Perspectives? Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks. So so we got that loaded, and we'll talk a little bit about this. But this is what I would say a way that a billionaire thinks. This is Gary Keller, and what Gary Keller did is he asked this question, and it's a great question, is what is it that differentiates those who achieve at the highest level from those who don't seem to accomplish as much? You guys ever ponder that as you're, sitting back on the porch, you're, up in the cabin, whatever, and thinking to yourself, what is it that separates people who achieve a lot versus people who don't? Why don't you guys share a few thoughts with me on that? What do you guys think?
I do not ponder that.
No, you should. So, I mean, does anyone think about that idea of or even some habits or some characteristics of people who achieve at a high level, people that you know yourself? What are those things? What does that look like?
I think it's those individuals that take action.
Okay, cool. I like that a lot. Thanks, Billy. That's awesome.
I'm not saying that that's me. I'm just saying
come on. Yes, it is. You're here. You're taking action, right?
True.
I think it's really about the habits.
Right. Yeah, having good habits for sure. And I think action, habits, those are great. What else?
They follow a schedule.
Follow a schedule. Fantastic. And I'm going to stop sharing for a sec and get back so I can see everybody. But one of the things that makes a difference, if you will, for people who have high success is really related to their thinking. I mean, action, habits, all those kinds of things precede with thinking. And Gary Keller, I'm just going to read this if you don't mind. I'm just going to share it. And again, forgive me because normally I do this a little differently. But Gary Keller, he asked the question, what differentiates people? And then he said, the difference is mindset, your mindset. He said, Gary has said this, when you interview the very top people and ask them their biggest challenge, inevitably they will tell you it's their mindset. So keeping it strong, focus, and positive. Anybody need a strong, focused, positive mindset right now? Right? Don't we all? Yeah. And he says, amid the challenges that they encounter every day on their way to the top, sometimes it's easy in life to think that life is just going to be easy. And honestly and truly, I want it to be easy if I was to tell the truth. But the reality is, it's not either or. Life isn't either hard or it's easy. I think it's both. And right now, it's a little bit of both, I think, that we're going through. And I think that it's unrealistic for us to think that in humanity, throughout humanity, that there aren't going to be hard times. And right now, we are actually having to go through some of those hard times. And so the mindset is powerful to how you do business and how you move forward. So that's what Gary Keller says. And he's a billionaire. I heard last year that he could have sold Keller Williams real estate for a couple $1 billion. So I think the way he thinks, there's a lot of truth behind it. He continues, life, I love this. Life is an inside to the outside experience. When you get this at a deep level, you realize that who you are inside determines and drives what you are on the outside. The reality is, guys, is success is actually an inside job. We chase squirrels all the time in real estate, right? I mean, we chase the next new thing. We chase the internet lead gen. We chase, the best marketing thing, Facebook or whatever. And we think that that's going to give us success. But really, the success, and this is what the 6 personal perspectives is about. It's about who we are on the inside and how we're growing. And we know what a bold law is, that our business grows to the extent that we do. So as we grow, then we change, we improve, and we can acquire some great habits. So I remember when I first came over to Keller Williams back in 2014, and I remember Pam saying in a team meeting, she said, mindset is everything and everything is mindset. So just think about that. Mindset is everything and everything is mindset. So the question is, how is your mindset right now? Anybody?
It's awesome. That's what it is.
Of course, because you're the guru. Yeah. I mean, truth be told, anybody besides me wondering what the frick's going on sometimes?
Yep.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now more than ever, I remember I attended a Mike Ferry conference once, and Mike Ferry was talking about that to succeed in real estate, you need to have a strong, powerful mindset. And I thought, that's a bunch of garbage. I'm fine. I don't need that. But guess what? That's come back into my mind that we need a strong, powerful mindset to succeed. So that's kind of what the 6 personal perspectives is all about. Now, I was on a call with John Maxwell, and I did a Facebook session with them. And he said this, and you should write this down. He says, how we view things is how we do things. So how we view things is how we do things. So again, what view do you have right now of what you're doing, what's going on in the marketplace, etc.? So your mindset's super important, and it does matter. So what I want to do is I want to just quickly go to the 6 personal perspectives, and I'll do my best to kind of go with you on the manual. Again, the notes in the chat, you'll see the manual. It might be a little bit tough to switch back between the Zoom call and the manual, but nonetheless, take notes, fill it in later if you want. But what I like to do is I'm going to share my screen again. I'm going to go over and we'll take a look at a couple of the things that I want to share with you on that. So mindset, defining the 6 personal perspectives. So mindset, attitudes, approach to life. So here's where I want you to take a few notes and let's talk about this a bit. So I'm going to define these for you, and on the right hand side, if you're in the manual, go ahead and fill it out. If not, on your piece of paper, just write a couple of these little notes down regarding my definition here of the 6 personal perspectives. So fill in the blanks to the right there. So step 1 in terms of personal perspectives is commit to self-mastery. In other words, what you're saying here is, I'm going to nail this. Okay, I got this. I'm going to master this. And I don't know, in Keller Williams, we take a lot of training. We have a lot of classes, and I've been to multiple classes many times. And I think it's easy as brokers and as agents, we can show up and say, yeah, I've heard that before. Tell me more, whatever. So you choose how you can show up and how you can learn. You choose whether you think that it's important, or you choose whether or not you think, oh yeah, I've heard that. That's just, that's old as the day is long, whatever. Okay. And I'm going to challenge you is, as we go through this stuff, don't look at it as, oh yeah, I've heard that before. Look at it as an opportunity for mastery. So anytime that you hear something that you've heard it 5, 6, 7, 10 times, whatever, what I would say to you is, rather than saying, oh yeah, I've heard this before, say, you know what? I haven't mastered this yet. It's the power of yet. Okay. And whenever you're doing something or learning something, it's always about, hey, have I mastered this? Yes or no? And I'd always say, even to my son as he's learning baseball, I say, it's not yet. You haven't yet mastered this. So whenever I show up at a opportunity to grow and to learn, like a class like this, I'm always saying, you know what? I'm not the smartest person in the room. And guess what? I need to master this. So whether you've heard this 4 times, 8 times, 12 times, 20 times, whatever, I would say every opportunity is a chance for mastery. So that's the first thing. Second perspective is committing to the 80-20 principle. In other words, you're just going to focus on your big rocks, right? We know that, 20% of what we do produces 80% of the results. So again, you're focusing on the big rocks. You've probably seen the video of where, the professor is pouring in, big rocks, little rocks, and then sand, right? And that's the whole idea, is you want to fill your life and your day and your schedule and your work with the big rock stuff. So next is from E to P, moving from E to P. And E stands for entrepreneurial, and P stands for purposeful. And so what we're talking about here is that you're purposeful about breaking through your ceiling of achievement. It's so easy for us to just rely on our wisdom, our skill, and our ability. And eventually, as we rely on our skill, our wisdom, and ability, we hit a ceiling. And as we hit that ceiling, it's hard for us to go beyond that. And that's when you know that you're relying on just your grit and your grind and your hustle, is that you're not breaking through. So if you want to break through, you have to become less entrepreneurial and more purposeful, so that you can break through that ceiling of achievement. And then we have number 4, we have make learning base the foundation of your action plan. And this again is like, you know what? I'm willing to, this is the attitude that says, I'm willing to be taught. I'm willing to grow, to pursue learning, to pursue something that I didn't know, and to get better at it, right? It's amazing. I don't know. There's a few of you I know who've been in the business here for a while, and I won't name names. Y'all know who you are. Love you guys. Anyway, the idea is like, you know what? Some of the stuff we didn't even learn. We didn't learn this stuff. I'm telling you, I've been in the business 20 plus years. I didn't learn some of the stuff that we have at our disposal right now. And so guess what? Over the last 5 or 6 years, I've actually been relearning. So this is a fantastic opportunity right now for you to make learning the center part of what you do, and really make it a focal point of growing. You can grow through this. So again, reminder, your business grows to the extent that you do. So then step 5 is remove your limiting beliefs. And so you unlimit, and here's what it means, is you unlimit your thinking so that you can unlimit your success. So you want to unlimit your thinking so you can unlimit your success. So yeah, you know what? We get caught. I remember during the down, the past downshift is like, you're like, oh my goodness, you know, properties went down 30, 40%, 50% or whatever. The reality is right now, yes, has the stock market gone down? Absolutely, 30%. But has real estate gone down 30% right now?
No.
No, right? So I don't see it going down 30%. I see maybe we have, you know, a few ups, few downs or whatever. But the reality is people are going to do business, and we just need to be in front of them. So that's what I'm talking about, is just removing your limiting beliefs. And then last is be accountable. And you say, you know what? It's mine. I own this. Your first, I really feel like this is a sound principle. One of your first rules of success is that you are 100% responsible. Okay? You are 100% responsible for your success and your failures. You realize that you're the hero of your story. You're the one who is going to achieve. You're the one who's going to conquer. You're the one who's going to overcome. We're just here to guide you through it. But in order for that to happen, you have to be accountable. You have to be accountable to the process. You have to be accountable to people. You have to be accountable to a system. And so anyway, I get all fired up about this stuff. Sorry about that. But any feedback or thoughts or something that stands out at you right now? Okay. Let me do this here. Oh, look at this. I got it right here. Boom. It's all there. Okay. So we're going to continue on, and perspective. And what I want to do is I want to give you a little bit more perspective. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. And there's a pretty cool video that I want to share with you for a sec, but I need to pull that up real quickly. And I just want you to sit back. I want you to get comfortable, and I really want you to take a moment to see this. Okay, so give me one sec so I can share the screen with you. Okay, here we go. Let me get this done. Watch this video.
Imagine the big explosion as you climb through 3,000 feet. Plane full of smoke. Imagine an engine going clack, 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 clack. Sounds scary. Well, I had a unique seat that day. I was sitting in 1B. I was the only one who could talk to the flight attendants. So I looked at them right away, and they said, no problem. We probably hit some birds. The pilot had already turned the plane around, and we weren't that far. You could see Manhattan. 2 minutes later, 3 things happened at the same time. The pilot lines up the plane with the Hudson River. It's usually not traveling. He turns off the engines. Now imagine being on a plane with no sound. And then he says 3 words, as unemotional 3 words as I've ever heard. He says, brace for impact. I didn't have to talk to the flight attendant anymore. I could see in her eyes, it was terror. Life was over. And I want to share with you 3 things I learned about myself that day. I learned that it all changes in an instant. We have this bucket list. We have these things we want to do in life. And I thought about all the people I wanted to reach out that I didn't. The fences I wanted.
Did that video just stop?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Let's try it again. Wow. Okay, let me stop that for a second. Let me stop that for a second.
And can you turn it up a bit as well?
Yeah. Okay. Let me try that one more time. Sorry about that, guys. This may be some bandwidth issues at my house. I'm not sure. But let me try that.
My phone rang in the background too, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
Oh, okay.
It all changes in
Here we
an
go.
instant. We have.
I'm gonna try to turn it
We
up.
have these things we want to do in life. All the fences I want.
Oh my goodness. I'm not sure if my screen can handle this. Computer and the bandwidth and everything. I may be having some challenges here in that regard.
I will
So
say most of the time videos in Zoom don't get along.
okay, thanks.
Maybe you could send the link in chat though.
Yeah, I will. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you. I will go ahead and do that. But the reality is like, if you can imagine, this guy was on a plane and all of a sudden the plane goes quiet, and now he's thinking about, wow, this is freaky. There's the Hudson River right down below. He knows what's coming, right? And anyway, and he's thinking about all the relationships that he's had and the ones that he wished that he would have been able to, revisit, talk to, circle back, repair, whatever. And, that is a perspective defining moment. And that's exactly what we have going on right now, is we actually have a perspective defining moment with where the market is. And, I would ask you right now just to write down. So take a note, write it down. I want to ask you a question. Is write 3 things that you still want to be, still want to do, or achieve. So I want you to write those down. What are 3 things that you still want to be, you want to do, or achieve?
Whew.
That's a huge question. I know. Just as it is, going down on an airplane. That video said that he says, I was given the gift of seeing into the future and then coming back and living differently. So, for the rest of this class, the rest of our time together over the next few weeks, is you get a chance to see into the future and then come back and do things differently. So again, I asked you the question, what are 3 things that you still want to be, do, or achieve? Do I have any brave souls who would actually share with me what a couple of those would be? At least one. Anybody?
I'd like to be a game store owner someday.
Awesome. Good for you. Good for you. I love it. Thank you. What else?
For me or for someone else?
Anybody?
So I did it kind of in the 3 things to be, 3 things to do, 3 to achieve.
Nice.
Be humble, happy, and peaceful.
Nice.
Do travel, boating, be with my family, and achieve. I only got one written down: retirement. I'm gonna have to work.
Retirement. Yes. Right. Lori, you and I have been around for a while, haven't we?
Yep. I have to still work and continue to build my business.
Nice. Yes, and that's good. So anybody else, what's something that you want to be, do, or achieve? You can unmute yourself if you want.
One thing that popped into my head that's never popped into my head because I was thinking about that guy on the plane about ready to die is life coach.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Good for you. That's great. Yeah, life coach. So here's what I want you to do now. Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to look at those goals again. And I want you to circle, I want you to star, I want you to choose one that you think would have the most impact on your life. I want you to choose one that you think would have the most impact on your life. So let me just get back here. And anybody again want to share something that they had written down on that?
I'd like to be a landlord so that I can be recession proof and my mortgage is covered. And then that way you don't have commission breath.
Yes. Teresa, you've been working on this for a while now, haven't you?
So we own one rental property and one primary, and that's it.
Right. But this has been on your heart though for the last couple of years. I know that, right?
Right. And when I joined KW, we were in an apartment, and since then it's only been a year and a half, and we already have 2 properties.
Nice, good for you.
That's a win. And then we did have an investment property in contract, but we backed out right when the order came out where we couldn't go to work because it had septic issues.
Okay.
So
wow.
No way is septic going to be pre-application meetings or.
No kidding. Yeah, a little tough to do right now. Hey, just do me a favor. Someone said, hey, could you guys, if you're not talking, just mute yourself so that way we don't hear some of the background noise, and then we might be able to do a little bit better. So just so you know, you can just click on the mute. And then, but I definitely love that, Teresa. Thanks for sharing. I know you've been working on that. So choosing one thing that would change your life, that would change your future, that could change your forever. So anyway, let's, we don't have, I was gonna say turn to page 12, but you don't have a page 12. Let's do this. Let's see if we can, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the PowerPoint, see if I can get you some of this and share some of this with you guys here. Hold on one sec. So I'm gonna share my screen. Back to the PowerPoint. Here we go. You guys see that? Thumbs up. You see it? Cool. Okay, so how would you change? What would you do that you're waiting to get done because you think you will be here forever? Yeah, that's a good perspective, right? And so that's your challenge right there. So okay, so as we're going through this, you know, just going inward and just asking yourself, you know, what is it that would really you know, get me motivated to endure what's going on right now in the market. And I wouldn't even say necessarily endure, but to even succeed and to go further and to go deeper. And I want to go back and just say right here on these 6 personal perspectives: commit to self-mastery, commit to 80-20 principle, move from E to P, make learning base the foundation of your action plan, remove your limiting beliefs, and be accountable. I'm just wondering if anything right there, you know, just steps out at you, or, you know, jumps out at you as something that you go, you know what, that's the one. And so keep that in mind too as we go forward, because really, again, we have to go inward in order to be able to to move towards our goals. Oops, sorry. Now I just went back and, okay, so do a reality check. So I want you to write down on that piece of paper, what is your goal? So write it down clearly. So restate that goal. Write down your goal. So I'll give you an example, and I hope you don't mind. It's just the one that I had written down, and you guys do with it, you know, whatever, do your own. But one of my goals is to take annual legacy vacations with my kids. That's one of my goals. So I put that down. So that's what I want you to do, is write down your one goal. Okay. And then share that with me. Anybody want to write down that one or share that one goal? Fantastic.
I'll speak. So mine is similar. I do really want to travel.
Okay.
Whether it be with my grandkids or my cousin does a lot of traveling with me. So I
Nice.
want to continue to do that. So
Good for you.
mine's the same.
Yeah, fantastic. That's great. So, okay, so what is your one goal? Then you're going to actually answer the question and take the moment, because this is opportunity. One of my, I had done a coaching program. I was through a strategic coach, and he's one of the top trainers and entrepreneurs in the country. And John Maxwell even mentioned him on one of his sessions, and it was from Dan Sullivan, coach. And he said, all progress begins by telling the truth. Think about that. All progress begins by telling the truth. So, this is about truth telling to yourself. Okay, what is your goal and how are you doing with your goal? So, as an example, when I state that goal of I want to take annual, and I call them legacy trips because it's kind of fun. And it's interesting that I'm happening to do this class right now because exactly a year ago today, we went to London, then we went to Africa, did a safari, then we did Cape Town, then we came back through Amsterdam. And so it's weird to me that I'm doing this exactly a year later. But so how are you doing with your goal? Anybody?
What do you mean when you say how are you doing with your goal?
Well, how far are you along? Thanks, Guru. How far are you? Are you where you want to be? Are you just you're grooving? You're having a great time. You're having lots of success. Yeah, how's it going as you're reaching towards the goal? Guru.
Sorry, I always mute myself when I say something, and then so coming back. I'm doing good, man. Hey, I'm I think a little farther than what I thought I would be when I was at this point last year. So of course, things change a little bit, goals change a little bit, and then especially what's happening in the market, that might change a few things. So just really at this point reassessing and then seeing if we're on track. If not, then what needs to be done to be on track.
Yeah. Sometimes with thank you. Sometimes with goals, this you bring up a point, Guru, that I kind of want to share is like, the idea of in the one thing Gary Keller talks about, flying from Los Angeles to New York. When you fly from Los Angeles to New York, it's never a straight line. You realize that the plane actually gets off course, and what happens as we're reaching our goals, it's never a straight line. A lot of times it's actually rather kind of squiggly. And the reality is what we need to do is we need to actually just simply course correct. So I would say that right now we've all had goals for quarter one and quarter two. And guess what? Now it's a chance for us to course correct. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with course correcting. What's wrong is that we give up. And that's what we can't do right now, is we can't give up. So how are you doing with your goal? I think that's a great answer, Guru, that you feel like, hey, I'm assessing, I'm adjusting accordingly. Okay, next, number 3, how do you feel about that? Okay, anybody want to say, how do they feel about that part of where you are with your goal? Anybody?
Well, I'm behind.
Behind?
So I'm frustrated and I'm optimistic.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, again, you're just having the reality of it, right? You're just saying, hey, I'm a little bit behind, and that's okay. But you're also optimistic. What makes you optimistic about that, Lindsay?
Well, right now, because I've been doing all of these online events, and so I'm actually connecting with a lot more people than I was.
Right. Okay.
Weekly.
Cool. Good for you. Yeah. I mean, you're definitely taking action towards your goals, and I love that. So, okay, next question is what, oh, did I change that? Sorry, you guys. I'm having a little bit, okay. So what will your future look like if you do not achieve your goal? Wow, that's a powerful question. What will it feel like and look like if you don't reach your goal? Anybody?
Bleak. It's going to look really bleak.
Yeah. I mean, is that because you're not able to do something? Is that because you're not able to be something or go and, have something? I mean, why is that?
Because I want to have a purpose-driven life. I want to accomplish all sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't accomplish, my list, then I'll have just existed on the planet and not actually made any difference for
Right.
being on the planet. So yeah, bleak.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're
For
going to
me-
go ahead.
Oh,
ahead.
sorry.
Please.
For me, I always wanted to be a parent that wasn't working all the time. So if I can say no to an appointment because I'm there for a soccer game, and then I'm in the, supporting my son to his science fair. So I want to have passive for that reason, just for, my own choice where I don't have to choose a client over family.
Yeah.
And then also, I think that I really liked what the last person who shared. We have a lot of people that need help in real estate, and if you could service some of the lower income industry and help them versus always being focused on the size of the paycheck, it's another power I'd like to have, where I don't have to worry about spending a lot of hours supporting those clients and not feeding my family.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So by not doing those things, by not reaching the goal, we have worry, we have regret, we have frustration. We know that we're not living up to our potential and our goal. And I want you to write this down, because I think it's important now more than ever, is that nothing changes until you do. Nothing changes until you do. And I think that that's, dealing with the reality, telling the truth about your goals, your desires, your situation, and then having the ability and the capacity to go ahead and to to pursue that. So anyway, wow. Okay, so the idea of, again, going back, let me just go back here to the 6 perspectives. Is before we, I guess, go further on to number 1, let me ask you this question. What is something that kind of stands out at you, just as we kind of been, trying to reset our minds a little bit, trying to think about our mindset? What are some things that maybe, let's just call it an aha, over this last section, because we're going to go into the next one here in a second. Anybody? So if you've taken a class with me before, you know what I'm talking about. If not, I'm going to tell you now. An aha is an agents helping agents. Aha. Okay. So that's what we want, is agents helping agents. So when you share, that means you're helping us. Okay. So any ahas that you'd like to share?
I have one.
Go ahead, please,
So
Becky.
the thing that really I'm hung up on is number 5, removing limiting beliefs.
Yes.
My question is, how in the heck do we do that? Do we read a lot of self-help books? Do we pick ourselves up? I mean, what's the answer to that?
Well, we're going to go deep on that on session 5. So please come back. No, we are. But you know what? Honestly, I think now more than ever is we have to figure out ways to get into a positive state, right? I mean, so when we're in a funk, when we're caught in our stuff, we have to figure out ways of powering out of that. And I know that's one thing that, Becky, to add to your point, is I think filling yourself with, as Zig Ziglar said, the good, the clean, the positive, the powerful, right? I mean, so we do need to fill our minds with that. And I would say there's podcasts, there's reading, there's masterminding like we're doing right now. There's all sorts of opportunities, but you have to put yourself in a spot where you are advancing in your growth and your mindset, right? And yeah, we'll get into some of that. And quite honestly, I think for me is your mindset is probably the number one thing, and you have to work on it. I mean, me personally, I work on it every day. I tell myself affirmations. I listen to podcasts. I read. I talk to great people. All that kind of stuff. So anyway, good question, and we'll revisit that again. Let me stop sharing for a second the screen, and let me see if I can get back to where we're supposed to be here. Well, let me just see here. Okay, here we go. So, okay, we're gonna go and talk about number one, and that's the idea of step one. So if you did have a manual, if you're one of the lucky ones, we're on page 17, and that's on committing to self-mastery. So, as you know your goals, as you know your strengths and weaknesses, you know how to work, towards the goal. And let me just get into this. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. Figure out. Okay, so here we go. Boom, boom. Okay, so committing to self-mastery. So the idea of, in terms of committing to self-mastery is the possession of great knowledge, skills, and habits that make you the master of you. So I heard it said once that, you know what, all of us need to get a master's degree in ourselves, right? So getting a master's degree on me, understanding, my goals, my strengths, my weaknesses, understanding how I work, understanding the knowledge, the skills, and the habits that I have and what I'm bringing to the table. But the idea, again, is committing to self-mastery. The idea is that this work, self-mastery is from the inside out. It's not from the outside in. You don't go and try to find something to fix you. You don't need something to fix you. What you need to do is you need to understand yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, and your knowledge, your skills, and your habits, and then bring those into reaching your goals. So and I don't think, is anyone ever really satisfied with their success? Is that possible? Can we ever just arrive? What do you think?
For a few days.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. I'll just tell you just my idea a little bit is when I first got into real estate, one of my goals was just to hit 100 transaction sites. I just wanted to sell 100 houses and that's all I could think about was, hey, how can I do 100 deals, 100 deals, 100 deals, 100 deals, right? And the idea is like, I set the goal, and then in 5 years, I had a great team. Peggy was on my team. I had a great team, and we hit the 100+ deals. And the reality is, I thought, oh man, this is great. This is fabulous. I'm at the top, whatever. And it was a great experience. However, I made a mistake because I really didn't set another goal after that. And so my point is, we never really arrive, right? So what we can do is we can change the goal. We can set new goals. Because after I hit 100, I wasn't interested in hitting 100 as much, but I did realize over time that I had to switch the goal. So that's the opportunity that we have, was we never really arrive. That's my point, is that we never really arrive. Even when you think you have, then guess what? You need to set another goal. That's the point. And so committing to self-mastery is how you get there, because you're going inside, looking at the knowledge and the skills and the habits that make you a master of a subject. And again, the master of the subject is you. So how well are you doing at growing yourself and knowing your goals? You guys know that the book Outliers from Malcolm Gladwell said that we need 10,000 hours on a task to be considered a master, right? So this is all about putting in your time, 10,000 hours mastering yourself, your mindset, your habits, your skills, your knowledge, so that you can reach your goals. So this is about putting 10,000 hours of actually knowing yourself and going forward. Though we also have, again, knowledge, skills, and habits. Let's just throw this out there. What actions or skills right now, what actions or skills move the needle for agents? What are they? You guys don't?
Lead gen?
Lead gen, we know that, right? For sure.
Yep.
I think confidence level.
Say again, Teresa?
Confidence level.
Mm-hmm.
Like people that are not confident in the messages that they're putting out
Right. Yep. Okay.
will
Cool.
not be as respected by their clients. So I feel like that's what I was worried about, is calling people and telling everybody one thing and then getting new information. So I've been kind of holding back on blasting out calls. And I feel a lot more confident now, and I'm going to be doing even more reaching out.
Good. Good. That's great. Yeah, it's a skill that you have to know how to reach out to your sphere, etc. What other skills do we have that can move the needle for agents?
Technology.
Technology, yeah. I mean, how many of us are spending the time, really building out the opportunity that's in front of us, which happens to be, through command, right? That's a great opportunity right now to grow and to master some skill. So if you mastered something right now, just as to talk about something in your life right now, if you mastered something, what would that do for your business? Maybe there's something out there that you're thinking, you know what, I've been putting this off and I know that I should be doing this. And if you did it, what would that do for your business? What kind of impact would that have on your business?
Probably propel your business forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Propel your business. It would give you that confidence that Teresa was talking about. What else?
Get you closer to your goals.
Absolutely. You're closer to your goals, and there's just peace in knowing that you're doing your best and you're moving in that direction. That's awesome. So again, on this on the screen there, you see when you commit to achieving self-mastery, you know your goals, you know your strengths and weaknesses, and you know how to work with both your strengths and your weaknesses to reach your goals.
But Brian,
yes,
I think that for me, that's the hardest thing.
What's that?
Right? Because I think most of us know our strengths and our weaknesses.
Yes.
But do I really know how to work with both of them? And I think once you've figured that out, then it's easier.
Right.
But not everybody knows, I think, how to work with their own strengths or weaknesses.
Yeah. How do you figure that out? Do you know?
That's what I don't know.
Oh, okay. No, and that's a great question. That's a great insight. And I never used to pay much attention to this, but I would challenge you guys to think about it this way. And the idea is that in our lives, there's things that I would say toward energy and away from energy. So toward energy is when you do it, you go, wow, this is awesome. I love this. This is great. I'm feeling good about this. And, you can tell that this is just kind of your sweet spot. Whereas away from energy, you go, whoa, that I'm just not very good with the details. I know that I really need some help, or whatever. And that's, I think, a good, easy way to kind of figure out where should I be? What are my strengths and weaknesses? And, when you, like for me, when I'm coaching or counseling or doing whatever, that's toward energy for me, because I love to be able to do that. Right. But when you ask me to, organize my 151 point checklist for my listing, I'm like, no, that's not cool, right? That's away from energy. Therefore, I should not be doing that. So those are just a couple examples of that. But let's see if we have, I don't know, let me check the okay. Mastery is the possession of great knowledge, skills, and habits that make one the master of a subject. Talked about that. Let me do this. Okay, let's putting the pieces of the puzzle together. As an example, let's do this. Oh, okay, so I don't have that on here, and that's okay. And because you guys don't have the manuals, that's okay. I will review that. But the idea is that, let's say that, let's use the idea, because this is relevant to all of us, is the goal, your goal is to master prospecting. Anybody need to master prospecting? I mean, after 20 plus years, I still need to get better at it, right? And the idea, so do me a favor, write this down, okay? Let's write down the goal is master prospecting. So that's step one, is you identify the goal. Step one, identify the goal, master prospecting, okay? Number two, the second step is to identify your strengths and your weaknesses. So as an example, using this idea of self-mastery, understanding yourself, your goals, your strengths, your weaknesses, your knowledge, your skills, your habits, etc. Let's just say that next step, you're identifying your strengths and weaknesses. Let's say one of the strengths is, and write this down, you're good with people. So you say, hey, you know, master prospecting, hey, I'm good with people. Great, that's awesome, good for you. And I think a lot of real estate agents are good with people, and it's just kind of a natural inclination that we have. But let's just say that maybe a weakness is that you're uncomfortable bringing up business, right? You're saying, hey, you know what? I don't really want to, you know, someone said it, I think Peggy, you said it, is, you know, I'm going to have commission breath, right? I'm nervous. I'm going to look like I'm needy, or I'm going to look like, you know, I'm asking for something or whatever, right? So that could be a weakness, right? So you look at it, and quite frankly, when I first started in the business, that was me. It's like I was uncomfortable bringing up business because I didn't want to be the used car guy, right? I mean, no one wants to be the used car salesperson, right? And so because I took that approach, that I was, you know, I was afraid, honestly, I was afraid to bring up business and bring up the idea that I'm in the business. And over the years, I've been able to transform that idea, knowing that it was a weakness. I've been able to transform that idea and say, you know what, man, I'm great at helping people. I'm great at serving people. I'm great at taking care of people's needs. And therefore, it's my duty, one, because I'm in the business of sales. Guess what? You're all in the business of sales, right? So when you're in the business of sales, then it's incumbent upon you to actually bring up business. So now how you do that, that might be, you know, that's probably individualized. Like you might say, hey, did you need help with that? Or you might say, hey, would you like a second opinion on that? Whatever it might be. But the reality is, you know, when you see it as a weakness, you figure out ways to overcome it. That's my point. So with a strength, let's say you're good with people. The weakness here is that you're uncomfortable bringing up business. Okay. So then step three is that you actually have a plan. So write that down. You have a plan. So you have a goal, number one. Number two, you know what your strengths or weaknesses are. And then number three, you have a plan. So if our goal is to master prospecting, that's the goal. We're good with people. It's a strength. Weaknesses, we don't really, we're uncomfortable bringing up business. So the plan might be, let's just say you're looking at on the PowerPoint, you're looking at three pieces of the puzzle right there. Let's say that first piece of the puzzle was actually part of your plan. That first thing that you're going to do is say practice scripts. So that would be one thing that you would do if you're going to master if you're going to master prospecting, you're going to practice scripts. That's the first part. That's plan of your plan. Next thing is you might say, hey, another thing that I could do is take bold. Okay. Hey, there's a relevant concept right now. We just found out that bold is going to be virtual. It's going to be, you know, in small groups, and it's only $99. So instead of $6.99, $7.99, pay $99 for bold. That's just another example, because bold will help you master prospecting. So next part of that is in terms of the plan would be to call your database. Okay, so call your database. That could be the third thing. So now all of a sudden, the goal is master prospecting. you have a strength, which is good with people. You're uncomfortable, that's your weakness of bringing up business. Now you have a plan to work around that. You're going to practice scripts, you're going to take bold, and you're going to call your database, and you're just going to do it. So that's the idea of when you have the concept of mastery, you realize, you know what, I understand what my goals are, I understand what my strengths and weaknesses are, and now I need to be able to put a plan to work around that. Now, I would say this too, is rather than beating yourself up that you're not good at a thing, or, you know, if you say that it's a weakness, and I've heard someone say once, when you work on your weaknesses, all you have in the end is strong weaknesses, right? So work on ways to overcome and to get better. Now, that's not an excuse to not get better. It just means that when you understand where you can improve, you take the action on it to be able to do that. So, okay, let's just stop for a second. I'm going to stop sharing the screen here for a sec, and let me ask you. I need to check the chat thing, because I've done small group ones, you know, but I appreciate you guys being here, and I'm still trying to get the flow and the vibe. Normally when I teach, I'm I'm in the classroom. I love to walk around. I love to, you know, get some energy going here. But this is so far, so this is good. I'm learning. So thank you for being here. So okay, so mastery, knowing your goals, strengths, habits, and knowing how to break out of it. So right now normally we would have an exercise here that would allow us to kind of go through, and in fact, let me do this. I'm going to go ahead and I was going to share a video with you, but I just realized the video is not going to work here. I got to figure that out. Let me see if I'm going to give it one more try here. Okay. Let me try to share this. I'm going to try one other thing, see if it'll work here. This is another video. This is Bruce Hardy. He's the regional director for our KW. Let's try it. Can you guys see that?
G'day, I'm Bruce Hardy, and I'm committing to self-mastery. You know, this is one of the main 6 perspectives that I think we all need to focus on, particularly if we want to take our business and our lives to the highest level. You know, when I was younger and lived in Australia, a good friend of mine was a black belt.
Sorry, guys.
G'day, I'm Bruce Hardy, and I'm committing to self-mastery. You know, this is one of the main 6 perspectives that I think we all need to focus on, particularly if we want to take our business and our lives to the highest level. You know, when I was younger and lived in Australia, a good friend of mine was a black belt in karate. He invited me to participate in karate, so I joined. I was a white belt. And after about 6 weeks or so, we were one day practicing sparring. And it was interesting because we were throwing a punch, relatively simple, straightforward punch. We both knew how to do it. The idea was that you would throw the punch and you would stop 2 inches from the other person's face. So my friend, the black belt, would do it, and he would snap, his gi would snap, and I had wind hitting me in the face, and it was just beautiful the way he threw it. Then it was my turn, and I got down and I went whack, and I watched my friend fall to the floor because I hit him instead of stopping 2 inches in front of his face. We both knew how to do it. He'd mastered it, I had not. I will tell you, I brought the same approach to my real estate business. I realized my focus had to be on listings. And what I did was, by focusing on my listing presentation, practicing over and over and over again, I was able to list over 250 homes a year. There's a wonderful saying out there, and that is, amateurs practice to get it right, professionals practice to never get it wrong. My question to you, are you an amateur or are you a professional? Commit to self-mastery.
Ooh. Yeah, that's good. So are you an amateur or are you a professional? Right now, this is not an amateur's market. This is actually a professional's market. And you know what? I'm sorry, I got to plug in excuse me one sec. Sorry guys, I had to plug in my My computer was going to die. Sorry about that. Anyway, live TV. So anyway, but the idea is just, you know, we're in a professionals market, and you know, Cindy and I were talking, and Cindy works with me on stuff and on my team, and we're just basically saying, you know what, people need us now more than ever. And so we are the professionals, and you owe it to yourself and you owe it to your clients to continue to get better, to continue to master thyself, so that you're able to serve them at a very high level. So this isn't about you. You understand this. When you're committing to self-mastery, this is not about you. This is about your clients. This is about your family. This is about your future. I mean, all of us have the opportunity to expand, to grow, and to change, and to become something different, even right now. And I would say you should double down on improving yourself, double down on the concepts here of self-mastery. Real quickly, your goal, I want you to take your goal. We're almost, oh gosh, we are almost done. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap it up here. And I want you to remember what that goal is, because our next time that we meet, same time, same place next week, we're going to actually review some of this. And so real quickly, anything stand out at you in terms of just something that you go, wow, okay, that's good. I can ponder this. I can do this. Any thoughts? Any feedback?
Yeah, those questions. What is your goal? How are you doing with your goal? How do you feel about that? And then what will your future look like if you don't achieve your goal?
Yeah.
I think those are strong, hard questions that we need to ask ourselves. And sometimes we get too lost in the weeds that we don't go back and ask us those questions, that how are we doing? You know, what it is. Are you on track? So I think it's a good time to reflect on that every once in a while.
Yeah. You know, I think it was Socrates that said that unexamined life is not worth living. So we need to take time to just go inward and to explore those thoughts and questions. Good. Thanks, Guru. Anybody else?
Yes, Sensei.
Well, cool. Hey, go ahead. Anybody? Yeah. So here's the deal. Okay. Now that you have, make sure you download that right now. Download the file. Okay. Download the file, which is the student manual on the 6 perspectives. Download that, have it, print it, have it ready to go next time, same place, same time next week here. Yeah, I just appreciate you being here. I mean, this is something that I feel like if you invest in your future, if you invest in yourself, the growth is certain. It's certain, and it's yours. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's going to be because you did it, not because anybody else. Because you invested in yourself, you invested in growing your mindset, your knowledge, your skills, your habits. So that's all we got for now. I look forward to connecting with you guys next week. Hey, in the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm at Keller Williams, Mountains of Sound in Kent. Okay, so y'all take care. See
Thanks,
ya.
Brian.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Where's that file?
Hey, Brian, real
Yo.
quick. Was everyone able to download that
I
file?
can't find the file either.
Yeah.
I just resent it to everybody. Didn't nobody get it?
Nope.
Just in the chat
You-
box.
What did
It's
you-
in
it's in
the
the-
chat section in 3 different places.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did put it 3 times in there. So, or
It's
I put,
weird.
Scroll back and forth. It's a PDF.
I did. It's not there for me.
I'll send it to you, Peg.
Oh,
Um,
appreciate
you
it. Thanks,
send
bro.
it to me as well. I'll give you my email address.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks, Brian.
yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.